This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. This meeting is an in-person meeting held at 870 Colfax here in Benton Harbor. In addition, a live stream of this meeting is available at the following link. Questions may be submitted beforehand to Natalie.Singer@bhas.org or presented in person during the public comment section as indicated in the agenda. Board members may be contacted through the emails listed below. Requests for special assistance, including for persons with disabilities, may be sent to Natalie.Singer@bhas.org. I call this meeting to order officially at 6:02 p.m. We'll begin by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Ms. Singer, in the absence of Secretary Triplett, can you please call the roll? Present.
Present.
Secretary Triplett. Treasurer Bradley. Trustee Rocket Martin.
Present.
Trustee Gannon.
Present.
Trustee Doyle.
Present. All right, next we have approval of the agenda. We have a sparing agenda, very concise. I do think we'll be able to make good time tonight. So at this time, I'm asking, is there a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. Is there a second or support?
I support.
The motion has been made by Trustee Doyle and supported by Trustee Rocket Martin. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, hearing none. Ms. Singer? Yes.
President Bowen.
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Gannon.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle.
Yes. Up next, we have review of the Board of Education norms. The Board of Education norms for Benton Harbor area schools. We will treat each other with respect. We will listen to learn. We will refrain from side conversations. We will use our time wisely, starting and ending our meetings on time. We will challenge ideas, not people. We will ask questions when in doubt. There will be no surprises at the board table. We will practice the 7 norms of collaboration. Those are pausing, paraphrasing, posing questions, putting ideas on the table, providing data, paying attention to self and others, and presuming positive intention. Prior to us going to public comment, I would just like to take a quick second to acknowledge Dr. Simone Griffin. Welcome to the board table. This is your first official meeting. So at this time, it is public comment on agenda items. I'd ask, is there anyone present that would like to make a public comment on an agenda item? Would you like me to read the statement for you? Okay, I'm surprised. Normally you say yes, please. Okay, you have the floor.
Testing. Thank you so much. Sorry, I just walked in here. Good evening, Madam Board President Robinson, Board of Trustees, and welcome, Dr. Simone Griffin. This is in regards to the recommended mission statement. My name is Tiana Batiste Waddell, P.O. Box 696, South Bend, Indiana. I am a community advocate for Black children's rights to a free and appropriate education that has a background in educational leadership and much more. I am the consultant that eagerly reached out to you because of the sense of urgency that has permeated the field of education since our career has begun. This same sense of urgency is the energy that I gathered from you, Dr. Simone, during your interview with ABC 57 on July 9th. I am only left to assume that it must have been the same sense of urgency that you felt or that the board felt when deciding to create this mission statement with limited stakeholder engagement in the process. I recall the interview with ABC 57 stating that there would be a process of gathering stakeholder feedback to develop a strategic plan, and a mission statement is a part of a strategic plan. Can you provide clarity on who was a part of creating the recommended mission statement? And are there other parts of the strategic plan that are currently being created? The last thing I am wondering if you're able to share how you plan to gather stakeholder feedback from the group you listed in the interview, which were students, parents, teachers, administrators, and community, and what that process will look like. What's the timeline on that? What are the tools that you're planning to use to gather the feedback from the stakeholders? Are you bringing in a third party? Any information on your plans for hearing all voices is appreciated. And I will also be leaving some documents, and I can't remember her name right now, with your assistant. Miss Singer. Thank you, Natalie. Sorry about that. And I would appreciate you looking to see if you have an interest in any local or regional support. Thank you.
All right, are there any others that would like to make a public comment on an agenda item? Hearing none, we'll proceed. Oh, you have the floor.
How you all doing this evening?
Quite well.
Congratulations to Dr. Griffin. I appreciate you for stepping in and bringing your expertise and your experience to our town in the time of transition. And I'm up here twofold because one, I would like to say I appreciate the school board for making me feel welcome. I always come here and express myself as a concerned citizen, parent, youth advocate, former assistant basketball coach. Pardon, my name is Derek Bishop. I'm sorry, we met during your finalist interview. I'm here because I was recently EDGE staff basically told me they wasn't interested in interviewing me or entertaining the possibility of me working in the district. So I sent support letters and a copy of my resume and recommendation letters to the entire board to try to bear some witness on the positive aspects of my character as opposed to some people holding my past against me. And secondly, I would like to ask, in this great time of transition, do you know what your standard operating procedure gonna look like, or do you have intention to put one in place as in regards to dealing with a more accurate eye on academics, the athletics and the finances? I asked that because last year, during the season when I was volunteer basketball coaching, it was a couple of attempts made to get some financial assistance for the middle school. And in the midst of the HR going through a transition in the athletics, it wasn't ignored, but it wasn't addressed in a timely fashion, to my opinion anyway. And me being an assistant volunteer basketball coach, our head coach was dealing with more pressing matters. So I was one of the people that put up the effort to bring up some type of community outreach and support for the middle school. And I heard on the June 26th meeting that the Student Activity Fund finances was there for our prior season, but the need wasn't acted upon due to possibly a transition and everything else that was going on. And I know it's there now. So I would ask that rather some type of request be made on paper or verbally to somebody trying to get some type of understanding that it be some type of procedure put in place, because me coming in, I wasn't trained on the way to put together a proposal on the attempt. I'm already on my time? Oh, I apologize.
Please wrap up your comment.
Huh?
It just didn't ding.
Okay, but was I clear enough for you? I don't know if I was, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. For those that made comments, make sure you fill out your public comment form so they can follow up with you if necessary. All right, is there anyone else for public comment on an agenda item? Hearing none, we'll proceed. Up next, we have approval of the meeting minutes. Today, we're approving regular session June 10th, 2025, special session June 14th, 2025, special session June 24th, 2025, special session for the budget hearing, which was at 6:30 that day, June 26th, 2025, and then the remaining special session for that same evening, June 26th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as noted?
I make a motion to approve the following agendas that the president named.
The meeting minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second or support? Support. The motion has been made by trustee Rockett Martin and supported by trustee Gavin. Any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the minutes? Hearing none. Secretary Triplett, are you ready to call a vote, or would you like Ms. Singer to assist?
I can do it.
Okay.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, reminder protocol as of 9/13/2022. All comments will be limited to 2 minutes per trustee per topic. Our first and only item for board business this evening is the revision of the Benton Harbor Area Schools mission statement. That is staff report B1. There was a very slight suggestion of an amendment made by trustee Gavin in a few of our previous meetings. So as requested, we have staff report B1 presented before us. And being that it was trustee Gavin's recommendation, would you like to present the staff report today? And then you can kind of give more context as to your thoughts.
Sure, thank
Okay.
you.
You have the
President
floor.
Robinson. I do understand that there was a strategic planning meeting at the time. Superintendent Townsell was the superintendent, and there was a members from the community were present from different areas, whether it be the education staff, community members, the business sector as well. And I was present. I wasn't at the table, but I was present to that meeting. It was very lively. And I was actually very much in favor as a parent and as a community member. I was in favor of the mission. The only issue that I had was the that it only said competitive. And I think competitive is great in certain aspects, but I think that sometimes just leaving us as preparing our students to be globally competitive, we miss out the highest form of communication, which is collaboration. It is the part of us that looks for the best in each other and help build on that, build on those strengths. And so my recommendation was to include, just to include global collaboration in the mission statement. And so my request is that my colleagues will be willing to accept that as well. And just to respect the public's comment from Ms. Batiste Waddell. I had not done like a survey or a poll. I did not ask the whole community if they were okay with changing that. And so my apologies for that portion of it. But I'm just asking if you all will indulge me. And then if there is, something from the public that has a concern about it, we'll bring it back up at another time.
Okay. So we're gonna actually, would you like to read the staff report, trustee Gavin, or would you like me to read it? I'll come back to you at comments.
Absolutely. What is your preference, that I read the entire thing or starting at facts and analysis? What's best practice?
The entire thing for the record.
Okie dokie. All right, so the subject is revision of Benton Harbor Area Schools mission, August 12th, 2025. This is staff report B1. The Board of Education shall change the school district mission. Submitting for board consideration that the Board of Education shall change the school district mission to include collaboration as a valuable goal in relation to student achievement. Facts and analysis: the current Benton Harbor Area Schools mission statement is to educate, guide, and inspire students by developing their skills and knowledge to be globally competitive. Competition emphasizes individual achievement and striving for a superior position, often at the expense of others, while collaboration focuses on teamwork, shared goals, and collective success. To ensure high-quality instruction that expands learning opportunities for all students, with an emphasis on fostering innovation, enhancing communication at higher levels, and building strong relationships through collective success, we recommend adjusting the current Benton Harbor, Michigan to include collaboration. It's a general funding source. The strategic plan references academics. Benton Harbor area schools will develop, maintain, and implement with fidelity a multi-tiered system of support that enhances the culture and learning environment. The recommended action is that the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education votes to approve the new mission statement language as follows. The mission of Benton Harbor Area Schools is to educate,
guide, and inspire students by developing their skills and knowledge to be both globally competitive and collaborative.
All right, is there a motion to approve staff report B1?
So moved.
Is there a second or support?
Second.
The motion has been made by trustee Doyle and supported by Vice President Bowens, and we'll go to trustee Rocket Martin first for comments. You had your finger raised when she was reading.
Yeah, I wanted.
You can speak in the mic.
I wanted to know what it would be, what the mission statement would be. And so she has it at the bottom of the form, so I'm good with it.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Any other questions or comments? I would like to also say I do hear Ms. Baptiste Waddell's comment regarding feedback from the public. However, we are maintaining it essentially the same and also adding collaboration, which I can't foresee that our community would have issues with us simply adding an additional word that allows them to work with their peers. Teamwork is extremely important to making the dream work. We all know that. Collaboration is something we have learned and are still working to move through. And so I think that in our status as a board, in our performing pursuits as a Board of Education and attempting to collaborate more at the board table, I think that we're not only doing that as trustees, but enhancing that throughout the district as well, and giving that to our students. So I just want to say for the record, I strongly support staff report B1. And I would encourage other trustees as well. Secretary Triplett.
Yes, Madam President. Also, I think that it's very, very important for us to know that this is a living document.
Mhm.
So it's not concrete.
Right.
And collaboration is something I think that, we can put forward. And also, oftentimes you might not have that time to actually go out and do a survey and meet and what have you. But the citizens have voted for us to be in these seats. And so you have several citizens who voted to put each one of us on this Board of Education. And I don't think that we would be out of line if we bring this to the table. We are the representatives of the citizens of this community. And so I strongly support the new word. I think that it adds something to it. I'm glad that, we did keep competition and being competitive because it's critical that we keep that in place. But collaboration would not do anything but add to it. So thank you so much. I support.
All right, if there's no other comments from the board, I'll ask that Secretary Triplett please call the vote for staff report B1, the revision of Benton Harbor Area Schools mission to include the word collaborative.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
Trustee Gavin,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, up next, we have teaching and learning. We're going to begin with the subject virtual learning, staff report T1. And you have the floor, Dr. Griffin.
Thank you. As you recall from our work session, colleagues, this was the online virtual program that was discussed in the last meeting that replaces the previous program, given input from our staff and our teachers that deal with the credit recovery and online options for virtual learning. Now, this is the opportunity to utilize a company's services that will address that in a more efficient way and save monies to the district, specifically around and providing that instructional approach for connecting one-on-one in small groups, engaging in targeted online instruction, and then being able to give our students the opportunity to attain course credit to get back online and college ready or career ready.
All right, so you can proceed by reading staff report number T1.
Want me to start the whole thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Glasses. Okay, subject approval of contract with
Can't hear.
subject. Approval with contract with subject, the company. Submitting for board consideration, the Board of Education should approve all textbooks or contracts used as part of the educational program of this district. Purchases over $28,048, the board approval. So our facts and analysis to ensure, do I read this portion as well?
Mhm.
To ensure equitable access to high-quality instruction and expand learning opportunities for all students, we recommend adopting subject.com as a provider of synchronous and asynchronous online learning. This platform addresses critical staffing shortages, supports credit recovery and acceleration, and allows us to offer a broader range of electives, advanced courses, and flexible learning pathways. Subject.com's certified teachers, accredited curriculum, and real-time progress monitoring provide a scalable, cost-effective solution that aligns with our district's commitment to personalized student-centered education, regardless of location, schedule, or staffing limitations. This is policy reference 6320. The funding source is Regional Assistance Grant. And our strategic plan reference is academics, which will increase student achievement as measured on local, state, and national assessments. So the recommended action is that the Benton Harbor Area School Board of Education votes to approve the 2025-2026 contract with subject for $600 concurrent per student asynchronous license, 100 total, and $4,755 per teacher of record license, synchronous license, 75 total, totaling $416,625.
All right, at this time, is there a motion to approve staff report T1?
I so move.
Is there a second or support?
I support.
All right, and so we did, former Director Kupch did present this to us in the previous work session. Are there any additional questions from the board at this time?
Madam President,
You have the floor.
I believe I stepped out when this presentation, so I apologize. With this new program, was it directed that we're not allowing children just to test out? Previously, it was used where you could just constantly take the test, take the test, take the test. And then we would have early graduations for individual students. It's not going to be used as that, correct?
I'll have to confirm that. This was done prior to my arrival as superintendent of schools. So I'll make note of that question because it's my understanding, Vice President Bowens, that that's still an option. This is done to ensure that they are able to get that credit recovery where they test out as well. But I will confirm that by circling back to the staff members, the teachers that gave the input and promoted this change for this company.
Okay, thank you.
And so also to add, the representative that came in, there is a test out option because I remember him suggesting that we increase the required score for testing out, and Secretary Triplett made a comment that if there's a standard for testing out, what would be the reason to increase the score? And he said to ensure that they have the knowledge, and that's something that we could determine internally, but there is still a test out option. It was
So-
discussed at the previous meeting.
I don't know if you remember, what I'm trying to avoid is a couple of years ago, we had like a seventh grader test out. We're not, they did those tests.
I think it was a freshman or sophomore that graduated.
Okay, but that's not going to be something. That's what my concern is.
I would say that's the conversation we can have more of, whether that's something, if it's something that's a legal standard, we would have to check into whether we have a legal right to prevent them from utilizing that as an option if it's legally allowed. But we can all, as Dr. Griffin said, we can circle back on that. Okay, your curriculum will discuss that more in context and follow up with the board as far as us discussing what we want that to look like moving forward.
Okay, Trustee Gavin had her hand.
Trustee Gavin.
I would just say that what I recall is that they were indicating to us that this is not as easy to test out because their predecessors, the other companies that we were using, it was just a little bit easier for people to find answers out there in the World Wide Web, and the validity of their testing system is better. But I do believe that they have an assessment to find out where the students are in their learning. I know Secretary Triplett knows the word, but the word has escaped me. But the assessment that finds out where you are, what all you know. So there is that test first, and then I believe that they is what President Robinson said, if they reach 70%, 80%, 90%, whatever we decide, they can move on to the next test. But it's not as easy to pass the test because there are some things that they really have to show that they know. They cannot go out on the web and find the answers.
Thank you so much.
Secretary Triplett.
And also, to, Dr. Griffin and to Vice President Bowens, we did have an opportunity to ask questions of the organization. With what we have invested in as it relates to our AI and all of those different things, it aligns with that. It also gives students an opportunity. So when we look at students, who have failed courses and what have you, but they've had the actual seat time, there's an option in there to say, you know, I took this class, I failed it, but I've met the required seat time. And so they have, things in place to say, to go through where they won't have to take the whole class over because they flunked it. They have tests and what have you set up in there so they can find out exactly where they left off and what knowledge they need, what they need to recover. So it's really course recovery, and it also gives us an opportunity to get more students. You can take these classes. We went to high school. We wanted to take government in the summer. We didn't just take the class because we failed the class. We wanted to take the class because we may have wanted to be dual enrolled. We might have another pathway. So it gives those types of options, but it's one thing that they ensured, because that was a question, that the instruction would be there. And they have systems in place to identify that our kids get the instruction that they really need in order to say that they are proficient in that particular subject matter.
All right, if there's no other questions or comments, I would ask that Ms. Singer please call the roll for staff report C1.
Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett,
Yes.
Trustee Roxanne Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, up next, we have a quick driver's education update from Dr. Griffin.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. First, I want to apologize to our families, our parents and the community regarding this particular incident. Upon my arrival to the role, just as the Director of Academics was transitioning away from the role, it had come to my attention. There was a concern regarding the stoppage of the driver's education program. And so with that, I did my due diligence and reached out to the CEO, Mr. Frank Menzel, from the official driving school and our district liaison, Rick, to discuss the circumstances around the driving instructor's sudden resignation on July 30th. What was shared was that Mr. Menzel said that the driving instructor was extremely concerned and afraid regarding things that were shared from students. And so because of those concerns, she decided to resign, and that's what brought the program to a halt while the company chose to look for other for replacements. And since that time, we have 2 part-time instructors that have agreed to come on board and complete the driving instruction portion of the course. Many students have already completed the classroom portion. What we're doing now is ensuring that the 2 part-time teachers that replaced the previous instructor can provide the remaining portion, the driving portion. And here's where we're going to make sure that we do in terms of actions going forward. As the district administration they've hired the 2 new part-time, classes are scheduled to resume within the next week with enhanced supervision and guidelines for our students. Additional safety protocols are being implemented for all future sessions. And we are reviewing our student conduct policies for off-site programs to ensure our students know how to communicate effectively and respectively. And of course, improve communication procedures between ourselves as the district and the partner program, the driving program. So again, as superintendent, I apologize to the parents of those students, and it is my sincere and earnest, humble endeavor for us to get back up running right away to complete the first portion, and then more information will be shared out with the community and those parents for the second cohort to begin.
Any questions? Trustee Gavin?
First of all, Dr. Griffin, I want to tell you how refreshing it is to hear a full report in that way. Thank you. I want to thank you
Certainly.
for taking responsibility, even though it, you did nothing wrong, right? You got in here, you got a date for us, you helped make sure that our students can continue that class. And you apologize to the parents, and not only apologize to the parents, but also made clear how we are going to step up our services moving forward. And I think that that's all we can ask for is the truth, a date for when we can get back what we need and what our kids deserve, and then solutions moving forward. So I just want to thank you for that. We already knew that this is our first time doing this in probably 20 years. And so we knew that there would be some hiccups. And I just appreciate you stepping in and stepping up within your first week or two on the job. Appreciate you.
Thank you. May I make one more comment? I forgot. Oh, up here.
You have the floor.
I want to apologize to those students as well. This was a very unique situation where a couple of students made a poor decision. And I want to apologize to the remaining students who did what they were supposed to do in the classes. Most of the students came on time, were in class, were focused and engaged. They were participating and doing everything they were supposed to do. So I don't just want to apologize to the parents. I understand their frustration, but I also want to apologize to the students that chose to do the right thing. So students that are participating, if you're seeing this, I sincerely apologize for the delay, but please know that I urgently had a conversation with the instructor and the CEO, and we're going to get this back up and running so you guys can get behind the wheel as soon as possible. That concludes my report.
All right, if there's no other questions or comments from the board, we'll keep it moving. It is 6:33. We have one particular trustee. It's their special day today. I would like to acknowledge Vice President Bowen's birthday.
That's a violation of HIPAA.
But also I have committed to allowing us to get out today by 8 o'clock. We can probably get out a little bit sooner. So we're going to keep it moving. Up next, we have business and finance. This is our June monthly financial reports that we covered previously with Director Brock Carter. So I will allow Dr. Griffin to present staff report F1.
Thank you, Madam President. This month, August 12th, 2025. Oh, I'm so sorry. A set of financial reports has been provided to the Board of Education for this month and each month. This evening, it is recommended that the June 2025 payments be approved for all of the district's funds. This is policy 6470. The strategic plan goal reference, facilities operations, Benton Harbor area schools will develop, implement, and evaluate a fiscally responsible plan that will ensure physical and psychological safety. The recommended actions are that the Board of Education approve the June 1 through June 30th, 2025 payments for the following funds: General Fund, $457,210.45, Food Service Fund for $121,004.30, Sinking Fund, $751,934.49, Student Activity Fund for $1,000, with a total of $1,331,152.24.
Is there a motion to approve staff report F1?
I make a motion to approve staff report F1.
Is there a second or support?
Support.
The motion has been made by trustee Rocket Martin and is supported by trustee Gavin. Any current questions, comments, or concerns not already addressed at the work session? You have the floor, Vice President Bowen.
Madam President, I have a question. And this, I know this is before you, so I'm gonna direct this to the president to find the answer for me. What is the Benton Harbor Food Service Department versus Thayer Food Service?
I would have to find that clarification for you as well.
Thank you so much. Please.
Can you point out to me from my notes where you see that, on which particular page?
On page 5 out of 14. Check number 57694.
Okay.
It's Benton Harbor Area School Food Service Department. And then on one of my check things, it says Thayer Food. So I thought, is there a separate department, or is that vendor the same thing?
So I will seek that clarification for you and send that to the board as a follow-up,
Thank
the
you.
difference between the two. Any other questions from the board? All right, hearing none, Secretary Triplett, and I apologize for not having you call the roll moments ago.
No, I thought maybe I had disappeared.
Yeah, no, you're very present. Secretary Triplett, please call the roll.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Gavin.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, awesome. Next up on our agenda, we have Facilities Department. We'll have to get that stretched out a little bit more for her.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so up next we have for our Facilities Department, we have Hazardous Material Assessment. This is staff report FAC1. And I am going to pass the floor back to Dr. Griffin.
Thank you, Madam President. This is the hazardous material assessment we have to have for those 3 buildings that we discussed in our previous meeting to ensure that they are checked for lead, asbestos, and cadmium. Cadmium, which I'll just briefly explain, I had to look it up myself. Cadmium is the paint and oil that is used in schools or in most places. It's a commercial product. But what cadmium is, it becomes very toxic and it can be harmful. And so this company is going to, by the government of EPA, they're going to conduct the assessment, take those samples to ensure that we're aware of where those particular harmful agents are in those 3 buildings. So this is for us to be able to conduct those assessments in those 3 places. And then we'll have the information we need to determine whether or not we move forward with renovation or demolition.
All right, and so before we proceed, I have received the clarification. The vendor that Vice President Bowens asked about is the vendor that the district uses to pay invoices for the school board meetings and other in-district catering. So that's the difference between the 2.
Okay.
Okay, so at this time, Dr. Griffin, you can read the staff report.
Benton Harbor High School Hazardous Assessment, Benton Harbor Area Schools Hazardous Material Assessment. Reason for board consideration: purchases over $28,048 need board approval for according to the most recent State of Michigan Department of Education threshold. The district has received condemnation orders for the following properties: Martindale Elementary School, 2199 Laurel Drive, Fairplain Northeast Elementary School, 400 Donald Atkins Drive, and Bard School, 1200 East Main Street. As a result, the district is considering demolishing or renovating all 3 buildings. As part of the project, the district is required to conduct an environmental assessment of each building. The assessment will provide information to assist in complying with the United States Environmental Protection Agency National Emission Standard for Hazardous Air Pollutants. The assessment will also provide information to assist in complying with the requirements of the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, Asbestos Construction Standard, and the OSHA Lead Exposure in Construction Standard, and cadmium Construction Standard regarding communication of hazards. The total cost of inspection of the 3 buildings is $64,000. Policy reference 6320 and the strategic plan reference facilities and operations. Benton Harbor Area Schools will develop, implement, and evaluate a fiscally responsible plan that will ensure physical, and psychological safety. Therefore, the recommended action that the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education vote to approve SME's proposal to conduct environmental assessments at the aforementioned properties for a total cost of $64,000.
All right, at this time, I'll ask, is there a motion to approve staff report FAC2?
I so move.
Is there a second or support?
Support.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Rocket Martin. Any questions, comments, or concerns? I would just like to note really quickly that I think it's important that we do get the assessments done there. Most of us are familiar with facilities enough to know that they're extremely important before you get ready to do major work or projects on your properties. So keep in mind that as we move through our master's facilities plan, there are additional vacant buildings that are not in use. And so while we are prioritizing these 3, we will have additional assessments that will come at a later date so that we can have finalized plans regarding those properties as well. So I just wanted to throw that clarification out there to keep that in mind. We may be coming back for additional buildings if necessary. Secretary Triplett.
Madam President, first of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Griffin for jumping right in and getting on top of this part of our facility master plan before it has been accepted and approved. There are some things that we are going to have to that are priority. And so we're going to have to put this money up front, and we can't sit back and not allow these things to go forward. We have asked in the facilities committee, looked at how does it look. We have buildings, for example, Sorter Elementary School, Henry C. Morton Elementary School. When those buildings were closed, nothing was cleaned out of those buildings. Nothing. It was just neglected. And we've had 2 or 3 different companies. We've had, and as I stated earlier, Baron Risa at that time was had been identified to lead in those areas. The books, the chalkboards, the last lessons that the teachers had on there, they're still in there. And so, as you were saying, Madam President, that we want the community to know that we are also talking to our superintendent and in our facility meeting on how that looks to get those buildings cleaned out and set up and prepared properly, because that is very, very dangerous. And so I'm just excited about the things that we're doing in preparation. So I would like to ask the committee, the Board of Education, if you all would support our leadership in this endeavor. So as we continue to improve our facilities here in Benton Harbor area schools.
Thank you so very much. If you have a hand, yeah, go ahead.
I'll be brief. So I don't think it would come as a surprise to anybody that I'm not a fan of getting rid of buildings, but I'm also not a fool. I know that there are some buildings that may possibly be dangerous and beyond repair, and that you have to do some sort of inspection to find out if they need to be demolished or renovated. And so I will support this, given these 3 particular buildings, and it's not selling the land. This is a inspection to find out, what dangers are involved, regardless of which direction we will go. So I think it is important, and I will support this.
All right, Vice President Barnes, you look like you're getting ready.
Yes, Madam President, have you talked to the chairman of Facilities and Finance on his recommendation? I would love to hear his input.
So I talked to the chair regarding his attendance today and his thoughts on finance and facilities as far as a committee. But I have not touched base with him regarding this particular staff report. However, we all know our treasurer very well. And if there was a point of concern or a clarification, or he objected to this staff report, all of us would know that already.
Well, thank you for your question. I just, when we talk about stepping our leadership up and everything, I would love to see a response or something, right? If it's not on paper,
Right.
just because we know how he operates,
I know that he is tuned in, so I don't doubt that we may receive some type of
I look forward to it.
correspondence from him. He was attempting to make it this evening, but he's a hardworking gentleman, and so his route was not going to allow him to make it here in time. However, he will be here for the work session, and so Vice President Bowens, I will ensure that Treasurer Bradley does share his thoughts with us.
Thank you.
All right. So hearing no additional comments or concerns, I'm going to ask that Secretary Triplett please call the vote for staff report FAC2 concerning Benton Harbor High School hazardous, or it should be Benton Harbor area schools, hazardous material assessment.
So the report reads Benton Harbor area schools.
It says Benton Harbor High School, and I didn't catch it at first.
It should be Benton Harbor
Area schools. Yeah, my apologies. Okay, Secretary Triplett, please call the vote.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Rocket Martin,
Absolutely.
Trustee Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, we are moving right along. Up next, we are on our human resources section of the agenda. We have staff separation, staff transfers, and new hires. So I'm gonna ask that Dr. Griffin keep us moving and present the staff separations, the resignations for this evening. Staff report H1.
Thank you, Madam President. Separation of employment, August twelfth, reason for the board consideration, a list of employees whose employment relationship with the district is or will be separated as submitted to the board each month. Fact and analysis, it is recommended that the Board of Education votes to accept the separation of employment of the following staff. Policy reference 3140-4140, termination and resignation of professional/support staff. The strategic plan goal reference personnel leadership. Benton Harbor area schools will recruit, hire, develop, and retain the best staff to improve student outcomes. This separation of employment will be considered for the following individuals. Robin Kupsch, Director of Academics, resignation August 5th. Central Office. Nisha McGee Phillips, Principal, resignation August 4th, 2025 from Fairplain Middle School. Recommended action that the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education votes to accept the resignation of employment of the aforementioned staff.
Is there a motion to approve staff report H1?
Madam President, I so move.
Is there a second or support?
Second.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Vice President Bowens. Any questions, comments, or concerns? You have the floor, Trustee Gavin.
Thank you, President Robinson. First of all, I want to say that I'm glad that we have another report that makes me feel a little bit better about this one. Also, I've seen the updates from both Director Kupsch and Principal McGee Phillips, who do appreciate their time here and who have moved on, but their heart is still with Benton Harbor Area Schools. I guess I do have a question and then a comment. With them having transitioned and us possibly bringing in someone else, I'm wondering if Dr. Griffin intends to allow some type of transition conversation between them and the incoming folks so that they can be brought up to speed. Is that something that's allowed or?
Certainly. If she is up for that, that is certainly, do I answer or do you?
You can answer and then I can add.
Yes, I'm open to that, because there's always a context she would have that we won't have. And the more we get, the better we're able to decide. So not only with her it's available, but the other remaining staff members within that department. And then even beyond that, there'll be a curriculum or academics audit that I'll speak to a bit later in my report.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that. I think they have a wealth of knowledge. I know that Director Kupsch came in at a time when that department was, there was a lot of positions that were removed at that time. She was wearing a lot of hats and holding it down the best way that she could. And I want to say that I appreciate her for stepping in. I know sometimes we can feel very critical of our staff, but a lot of times they are holding it down in education, not just in Benton Harbor, but all over. Also want to thank Principal McGee. She was also my son's principal and he loved her very much, and she expressed how much she cared about him. You just never know how that makes a difference in your day to have that principal who cares about you when you walk into the building. And so I'm really grateful for both of them for their service. And I will support the separation because they have moved on. And Dr. Griffin has done and her team has done a phenomenal job of filling in those spots as well.
Thank you.
Secretary Triplett.
Madam President, I'd like to take this opportunity to piggyback on what Trustee Gavin said. When we look at both of the individuals who have moved on, they came in at a critical time. And oftentimes, when when leadership is transactional, you have this type of turnaround. And so I too would like to say to Director Cuff and to Principal McGee Phillips, I would like to take this opportunity to thank them for coming in and for standing in the gap. I myself, when I look at it from the role that I play as a member of the Board of Education, I don't look at my questions being adversarial or to belittle anyone. My questions are carefully crafted and thought out after observation. And so, I think that it is important moving forward. And I feel confident that our current leadership is going to lead from a transformational perspective. And so those type of systems and stuff, we've discussed this in our one-on-one, that those type of systems will be put in place so that when people leave this place, everything is already set. People will come into portfolios, files, and long-term plans and all of those types of things that will already be set in place. And so again, I would like to thank Director Cuff and Principal McGee Phillips from Benton Harbor. We appreciate it. We hope that everything was not bad. We hope that as you guys get ready to move forward, that you'll learn you will have learned some great lessons to make sure that you continue to be successful in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you. I will keep it brief. I just want to say that it was a pleasure to receive service from both of them in their positions as Benton Harbor Area School staff. It's always remorseful to see a part of your team move on, but I am a person that is strongly supportive of people finding their greater in their next opportunity. So I am grateful for the service that you provided to us, and I wish you both the best in your future endeavors. And I hope that Benton Harbor Area Schools has better qualified you to be the best professional that you can be in your next ventures. Vice President Bowens.
It's devastating to see Miss McGee Phillips' name on the list. I knew she was doing some great things at Fairplain. Transition is never easy, and sometimes you have painful moments, but I also hope that we use these opportunities when a house or when we see something, speak up. When we see what's happening, speak up and listen and be that voice and support for that administrator when they're reaching out. That's what I would say.
All right, if there's no other, Trustee Rocket Martins.
I too would like to show my appreciation for Principal Phillips and for Director Cush. I appreciate the work that they did in our district, and also the fact that the gains we made in our district with Director Cups in that position. And so with that being said, I knew Principal Phillips as a little girl. I knew her coming up. So I'm very pleased and very proud of them, the work that they did in our district. So with that being said, congratulations to your new positions. And I wish you the best. And I know they will still go on to keep doing amazing things.
All right, Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote for staff report H1 staff separations?
Good. President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens,
No.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, up next, we have transfer of staff report H2, Dr. Griffin.
Transfer of staff, August 12th, 2025, submitting for board consideration to approve staff employment in accordance with the revised school code and other general laws of Michigan. Fact and analysis, it is recommended that the board approve the superintendent's recommendation for the transfer of the following personnel. Policy reference 3130, and 4130, assignment and transfer of professional or support staff. Strategic plan goal reference, personnel leadership. Benton Harbor area schools will recruit, hire, develop, and retain the best staff to improve student outcomes. Therefore, the following names: Michael Gillespie, mild cognitive impaired paraprofessional from Fairplain Middle School. New position, autism spectrum disorder, paraprofessional, building Benton Harbor High School, of start date August 18th. And Trevor Alexander, assistant principal, Benton Harbor High School, to new position principal, Fairplain Middle School, August 13, 2025. Recommended action that the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education votes to approve the transfer of the aforementioned staff.
Is there a motion to approve staff report H2?
So moved.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett. Was that Doyle? Been made to support. Questions, comments, or concerns from the board? Secretary Triplett.
Madam President, I would like to say again to Dr. Griffin, I really appreciate seeing these reports where the start date is after the board meeting. And consideration from the Board of Education is honored and respected in that manner. I am so excited. For the decision, being a part of the Human Resources Committee, the respect and the way in which our superintendent handled this transition. I'm very excited for Mr. Alexander to become the principal of Fairplain Middle School. And so I'm looking forward. I think it's a great move for our students. I think it makes it seamless. And so again, I'm very grateful and appreciative, Dr. Griffin, for this decision that you're bringing before the Board of Education. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, any other comments from the board? Trustee Gavin.
Thank you, President Robinson. Once again, I'm grateful that we're able to fill these positions quickly, and I'm grateful to see our homegrown folks given an opportunity. I've never had a personal conversation with Mr. Alexander, but I've watched him. I've seen how he interacts with the students and the staff, and I appreciate how he carries himself from my perspective and what I've heard. And I'm just glad that Dr. Griffin and the Human Resources team did their due diligence and made sure that we have folks who are qualified to be in these positions, to be in the positions. And I think that it'll be a great fit for Fairplain Middle School. I look forward to seeing what happens. And I'm very excited that we have an autism spectrum disorder paraprofessional who is a great man, a great coach, and somebody that our students will be able to relate to. So thank you for this, and I support this staff report.
Any other comments from the board? Vice President Bowens.
I want to say congratulations to Principal Alexander. I also want to thank the HR committee for having that discussion, and Dr. Griffin for not just listening, but listening and acting, thank you. I'm expecting great things from Mr. Alexander in that school. And I'm glad to see that it's a homegrown and it's a local individual. It matters when you see your principal when you're at the store. It matters when you see them in the community. So I'm pretty excited about that. So that's it for me.
All right, I would also, based on the comments, it appears that the motion will pass, so I will speak as such. So I'm excited about the opportunities that this transfer staff presents. Having Mr. Gillespie at the high school, I think is going to be strong, not only for him working in that autism position, but also just his presence as a leader and as a coach with those upper level students. Also extremely impressed with Mr. Alexander's leadership in his role as assistant principal. I did have an opportunity to monitor his leadership throughout his period here, but also had one special occurrence at the Benton Harbor High School at a particular game where we had to make some quick decisions. And so I believe that Secretary Triplett provided suggestions or brief support to him in that moment. He executed it immediately. And I was able to see how the staff respected him, and how he was able to navigate that without crisis. And that's extremely, important to me. And I think that he will be an amazing fit at Fair Play Middle School as well. So I also support staff report H2. So if there's no additional comments from the board, I would ask, go ahead, you have the floor. You have comment?
I do.
You have the floor.
I wanted to just publicly say I'm excited about Principal Alexander as well. I had an opportunity to conduct sort of my own interview and conversation with him. He very clearly has an energy and heart for children. That matters in this work because it's very, very difficult work. The principalship is one of the hardest jobs anyone could ever have. And I'm sure some of my colleagues to my right understand that. With that being said, in the conversation that I had with him, what was critical was that he was reflective around his areas of growth and his strength. He knew where he was strong and he was able to speak to them with some specificity. And he was also able to be reflective and transparent and honest about his areas of growth and then seek to be mentored and grow his capacity in those areas. And that's not always found. And so that's why I'm excited to put him in this role so he can flourish, because it's also important to have students in a school to see themselves. To have your principal live in your community, homegrown bred, there is a level of cultural competency that can be replaced. And so I'm very excited about what he's going to do in the middle school because it's going to be critical. I understand that there are concerns there, but he was excited about meeting them head on. And once I got done offering the role to him, he said, "I will not let you down." I said, "It's not about me, it's about the children." And he said, "You just watch." And so I'm very excited about what he will do in this community, in this school for those students.
All right, Secretary Triplett, please call the vote for staff report H2.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
Trustee Gavin,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, up next we have, congratulations, thank you. Up next, staff report H3 regarding employment of staff.
Employment of staff, August 12th, 2025. Something just popped up on my screen. Give me a moment. Submitting for board consideration to approve the employment of staff in accordance with the revised school code and other general laws of Michigan. It is recommended that the board approve the superintendent's recommendation for the hire of the following personnel, policy reference 3120 and 4120, employment of professional support staff. Our strategic plan goal reference is personnel leadership. Benton Harbor area schools will recruit, hire, develop, and retain the best staff to improve student outcomes. The following staff are recommended for hire: Elizabeth Brottigan, certified teacher in second grade for MLK, start date effective August 18th. Megan Marlowe, certified teacher, third grade, MLK, start date August 18th. Dawn Orlett, and please forgive me, teachers, if I'm saying your name inappropriately. Certified teacher in English for Benton Harbor High School, effective date August 18th, 2025. Dr. Erica Foster, Director of Academics, Central Office, start date August 13th, 25. Kevin Graham, certified teacher, sixth grade science, Fair Play Middle School, start date August 18th, 2025. And William Gray, graduation advisor, Benton Harbor High School, start date August 18th, 2025. Recommend action that the board, the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education votes to approve the employment of the aforementioned staff.
Is there a motion to approve staff report H3?
I so move.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett. Was that second voice, Trustee Doyle? Okay, the motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Doyle. Any questions, comments, or concerns from the board?
Again, Madam President, to our new Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Griffin. It is good to see when we look at the title, we have 3 certified teachers in grade 2nd, 3rd, and a certified English high school teacher. That's absolutely amazing. Once again, putting trust in her leadership and her experience We have a director of academic. That's on this thing, on this report. Then we look again, a certified sixth grade science teacher at Fairplain Middle School. That's absolutely amazing. And then a graduation advisor. And I want to take this opportunity to say publicly, when we talked about the things that we talked about in our one-on-one, and we talked about in human resources, Dr. Griffin was hired by this district to do the work. And I think she's starting off on a good note. And I just feel proud. And again, even though it might be a one-day difference, but the meeting is held on the 12th, and these people have not been told that they have these positions already and not on site. And we have to come through and say yes, because they've already had these positions. So I like the order. I like the decorum. I like the conversation that you had when you made the decision to bring Mr. Alexander as our principal. I do have, and Madam President brought up a situation where we had at the high school at a basketball game. And so from a board perspective, a lot of times people can be offended by that. You might be crossing bounds. And so, but I was able to share with him, and he did not take it negatively at all. He immediately executed. As a matter of fact, he did ask me last year, could he come up and shadow? And so the humility and the deference and the eagerness, and what you said is exactly what I felt. I didn't know it. I didn't have that experience with him, particularly at any point, you know, not in through a conversation. I just saw this through action. So thank you. Thank you so very, very much for the work that you're doing. It is good that we do not have to any longer represent as pseudo employees, and that we can trust our leadership and go forth, because we have jobs too. Thank you.
All right, any other comments? Trustee Gavin?
I just want to say that it feels so good to see certified, and PhD, and a graduation advisor who I know has the students' best interests at heart. I'm so excited to see 3 times more people coming in than leaving at a critical time in which usually people exit during the summertime. But I'm seeing this stability, and I'm feeling very good about the people on this list, the credentials, the wealth of experience of the recommended director of academics. I feel good about this choice. And I just want to thank you again, Doctor. I'm going to, forgive me. I just have to, when I'm happy and pleased and grateful, I'm going to say it.
Yes.
Because I truly am. Thank you for attracting, and you and your team, not just you, of course, you and your team, for attracting folks that have the certifications to take care of our children. So I feel very good about this list, and I support it as well.
All right, if there's no other comments from the board, I would ask that Secretary Triplett please call the vote for staff report H3.
Is there anything to her? Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking up something else. That's my clothing comment. I was looking at my phone. Caught me off a little bit.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. What am I doing, Madam President?
Calling the vote for staff report H3 regarding the employment of the aforementioned staff.
Thank you so much. President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Gavin.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, so well done to the Board of Education. We have gotten through the business of the district in an hour and 10 minutes. It is going to be my goal to do this moving forward. Our work sessions may be a little longer, but our board meetings should be able to be as swift as this. So at this time, we're gonna pass the floor to Dr. Griffin for her superintendent updates.
Thank you, Madam President. Well, it has been a very busy 3-week mark? 3-week mark for me. I just want to share a few things that I have been working on with the execution of my 90-day entry plan. Recall there are 4 stages: engage, explore, empower, and execute. At this point, I'm at the engage portion where I'm bringing together as many people in central office, principals, and the stakeholders that I will engage going forward will be the parents and our students. Thus far, I have started to have the one-on-ones with our central office staff as well as some of the principals. And I have to say how excited I am. I will tell you, I'll start with the central office. They have been fantastic in telling me what it is they want to do, how they're excited. They're looking forward to the leadership and a fresh start. So I'm very excited about our district office team. Now, the principals, my God, they are so excited. The buildings are looking good. They're abuzz and excited, as they should be, in anticipation of our students and our families this year. I haven't met with all of them just yet. I've met with Principal Morant. I've met with Principal Rockett and Principal Wright. And when I tell you in Principal Wright's and Principal Rockett's building, you can eat off the floor. I met with our custodial crew. I had to tell them, listen, let me just tell you at the onset what my expectations are. These buildings better be White House ready. Okay. When I got to Principal Rockett School, she was so ready. I said, somebody called you, didn't they? They told you I was coming, didn't you? She was so ready. The building is gorgeous. She already has a vision for certain things she wants to do. And the energy radiating from her and her team, it was electric. That's the kind of thing we want. The excitement of our teams into anticipating our children and our families. Same thing with Principal Wright. Now, in our one-on-ones, very quickly, the kinds of questions I'm asking everyone the same questions. What's good at Benton Harbor Area School? What are the challenges? And what support do you need from me in order to be successful in your particular role? So there are trends that I will share out with you once this portion is done. I also want to give thanks to the Board of Education members that I have had conversations with as well. They too have shared their concerns, their excitement, and their enthusiasm to support my role, but also being very transparent about what it is they want to see. So thank you to the board as well. I've also, with the principals, I'm not only having the one-on-ones, I'm also conducting walkthroughs. I want to make certain that these buildings are ready, not just clean, but they have all the supplies that they need. And if there are any facility concerns, I'm aware of them and we can expedite whatever they need in terms of resources so we can be sure and confident that they're ready to get started on day one. With that, in those walkthroughs, buildings deep clean, fresh coats of paint, and flowers for our students. And so I'm excited about that. I'm also having partnership introductions, and what I'm looking at in those conversations are what are the areas of growth that they plug for us? Because as you know, we have areas of strength and we have areas that we need to address. And so my question to those partners, welcome. Thank you for supporting us going forward with your contract, but where do you show up in the area of need for our district? And so having those conversations have been very fruitful as well. Department audits. To ensure that in my tenure, I know where we are in each of those areas. There are big curriculum, human resources, and a student support services audits launched. So, and with human resources, I'm so thankful for the recommendation for Miss Sheila Dorsey Smith. She is phenomenal. She is conducting an audit for us for the next 30 days on our human resources department to ensure that we are in compliance with the state of Michigan. We are also having with Director of Academics coming in. She and I will partner because curriculum and instruction is my strength, an audit as well. So we're not just looking at it internally, but I may be having someone come in as a third party. And then, of course, our student support services. I've been contacted with a name to help us do an audit on that department, which will include special education as well. These audits are going to be in place so that we can system set where are we today so that it will give information on what we do going forward. Next, Benton Harbor Area Association and Board of Education contract negotiations. They're currently in progress. I am hopeful about the collaboration and compromise that will ensue, and I will update you with more details as the process continues. Benton Harbor Area Schools Alumni 5K Run. That was this past Saturday. I didn't run, but I walked really fast. And I had a wonderful time with our cheerleaders, alumni. We had alumni back from 1964, I think was the oldest one. Yes. Yeah, it was wonderful. All ages, all ethnicities, and it was a picture taking phenomenon. And I want to give kudos to Mr. Jonathan Taylor. John Taylor. Yes, he was such an endearing man, and they did a wonderful DJ, balloons. It was very well put together. And last but not least, our back to school bash preparations. We have a DJ and a few things I needed to add under my new tenure. So we have raffle prizes. We're going to be giving away 2 bikes, 2 Beat headphones, and 2 new iPads. We're going to have an ice cream truck, games for each age group, pre-K to 3, intermediate, and high school. And then, of course, the 360 camera station. We'll have a videographer to collect it for Ms. Booth, as well as a photographer. And so I'm excited to announce this event. Please, 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 all our community and families, please come and join us. I can't wait to see our kids. And we will have a table set up for our Board of Education members, staff, and school teams, where there will be a QR code and hard copies of important paperwork for our families to start the school year. And so please come and join us as we kick off our new school year 2025-2026. That concludes the superintendent comments.
All right. Okay, so I am going to keep it moving. I'm pretty sure that there may be feedback regarding that amazing update, but I would ask that you all provide that in your closing comments so we can continue to move swiftly. Regarding old business, just want to make sure that the board is aware that I did not disregard the conversation regarding facilities and finance. I was anticipating the absence of our vice president and our treasurer today, and I would prefer that we have that conversation in our work session when the majority of us or all of us will be present. So that conversation regarding the committee itself moving forward will be in that work session meeting. Also, and this is, it's kind of old business, but a merge of new business. This is just a pre-message to the board that I would like the board to consider returning the powers of the superintendent for transfer. I would like us to have that conversation as Dr. Griffin comes to learn the district and see what is available as far as asset mapping for her district. There may be subtle changes that she wants to make or suggest to us. And so I will be approaching the board with consideration of reversing what was done previously with that policy. I don't want to go into the conversation too much. I just don't want to throw you off when it comes back to the table. And then our treasurer Bradley has suggested that we have maybe a board governance committee. I'm gonna have a one-on-one with him just to get some more information about what he's thinking with that. Just want to pre-message that those are some things that may be coming back to discussion in our work sessions as a full board. And that is all of the old and new business that I have. I know that we have a MASB conference is coming up. It's this weekend. Are you going? Just 2 days. Okay. So trustee Raquel Martin is the only one, I believe, from the board that is Gavin going as well?
No, Bradley.
Oh, Bradley is attending. Okay, so we'll have representation this weekend. So that concludes both my old business and new business. So at this time, Secretary Triplett.
I did want to say to Ms. Singer, because I had planned to attend, but I would like you to cancel all of my reservations and anything that has already been requested for me. I would not be able to be in attendance. I have a memorial service for my cousin, a family member, this weekend, so I won't be able to attend. Thank you.
So if we've registered him, give me maybe until noon tomorrow. I might be able to transfer the reservation and maybe I can go. But let me see if that's something I can work out. All right. I'm glad that topic came up, Secretary Triplett. All right, so next we have open public comment. Is there anyone present that would like to make a public comment at this time? Hearing none, we'll proceed with board member announcements and comment. Oh, you have the floor.
My question, well, my public comment is, I just got a text message from Miss Naisha McGee Phillips. She said that she loved Benton Harbor and it's a forever love. She appreciates y'all. And secondly, I wanted to know what were the numbers for the prior school year as far as growth at the middle school. I asked that primarily because not only did I help coach last year, I was an 8th grade student at the middle school. Mr. Triplett was actually my teacher. You know what I'm saying? He was my only had one of I had 2 black teachers. Miss Triplett was only one of those 2. And he was actually somebody who's real pivotal in some of the choices I make then and now. And I asked if there was any growth and where I could find it at because I'm working on a book and a documentary called A Beautiful Struggle. And it's about this period of transition that we're going through in Benton Harbor right now. So I would like to know where I can get the information from. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for open public comment? Are you coming up? No? Okay. Hearing none, we'll proceed. We'll start with, give Doyle a chance to get back to her seat. Trustee Raquel Martin.
Just a quick reminder of, if you don't make this training session with MASB, that we do have the leadership conference coming up in Grand Traverse Lodge, October 23rd through the 26th. So you can make plans to attend that conference. That is the conference that they make the usually vote in and make the changes with the curriculum, their curriculum and stuff. So it would be good to attend that one if you didn't make the other ones. Also for the Marion County Cass County Association, I am now the vice president. We meet twice a year. That's a wonderful committee to be on.
Right. Well, congratulations. We're very proud.
Yes, so I'll have more information forthcoming as we finalize things in that organization. I'd like to say to our new hires, congratulations. I too am glad to see the certified teachers. And I'd like to encourage our TNTs to keep plugging in there, keep going, because eventually you will be a certified teacher too. And you can fit right in, keep those positions that you are now filling. So hats off to everybody that's working with our district. Hats off to our new superintendent. Thank you so much for the work that you are doing. And I appreciate you. I appreciate our president and all of our board members. And we'll just keep working and doing what's right for our district and making things right for our district. So with that being said, have a good night.
All right, Trustee Gavin.
Want to thank everybody for coming out. Definitely want to thank those who had public comments. I have seen Mr. Bishop just really give everything he has to the community. I don't know how you have that much energy. I go to one event and then I need like 3 weeks to 3 weeks in solitude to recover from people and socializing. And you are at one meeting and the next community meeting and the next thing. And it just really shows that you really care about our community. And so your gifts will make room for you.
Yeah.
Your gifts will make room for you. And I want to thank the board for supporting the mission. I do believe that the mission is important and it's something that I want to have. I personally charge myself to have memorized so that I am thinking in that mindset of collaboration, because it takes a level of just really thinking about other people when you're in that space and bringing your best self to the table. And so I'm looking forward to us living out that mission at the table, and I'm looking forward to our students and staff living out that mission as well. I'm really grateful for Dr. Griffin, and I appreciate your, just for lack of a better word, your humility and service and hitting the ground running with results, and the care that you have, not just for the board, but for the students and for the parents and for the results that you have produced and your staff. And I thank the staff for sticking with us. I appreciate that. Walking in, I could see Mr. Magruder's reflection in the floor. It's so clean. I can see the orange, I can see his orange outfit in the floor. So anyway, I'm just excited about what's gonna happen with Benton Harbor area schools. I will definitely be at the back to school bash. Looking forward to that amazing community fair. And I hope that everybody will come out and meet Dr. Griffin and the staff and find out about your classes and when school starts and all that good stuff tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, trustee Doyle.
All right, I would just like to thank everyone for coming out. I'd like to thank everyone who's watching. This has really been a great meeting. It is really good to have you here, Dr. Griffin, to see you move like you're moving. I really support the mission statement, that collaboration. I think that's an important part of us just being people. We have to collaborate and work with one another, and I think that's a great addition to the mission statement. I'd like to thank you for getting the driver's ed in check and got that going. I love the White House clean comment about the schools because they should be clean. They should be absolutely White House clean for these kids to come in. Also, I like to thank Robin Kupch for what she had done and help with our district. I'm very pleased with Mr. Gillespie and Mr. Alexander, and as well as all of the new hires. And I also like to thank Mr. Bishop. He is amazing. He is everywhere dealing with all the kids, and it's every day. It's not, I'm here today, I'm going tomorrow. He is here. And I would like to see him stay around. Again, Dr. Griffin, I am just so grateful to have you here at this table. This is one of the best meetings that I've been to, besides the one where we decided we was gonna take you. But other than that, it's been a great meeting. I also like to say, let everybody know that I am a Yes Fresh Start champion. I ran off of that. That is my foundation. That's what I believe in. That's what I know we can do for our city. Come join me.
All right, thank you. Up next, we have Secretary Triplett.
Thank you, Madam President. The question was posed in the scripture, in various scriptures, is there anything too hard for God? And the answer is no. Is there anything too hard for God? And the answer is no. I would like to say to Derek, I am very proud of you. And I appreciate. I see you. Okay? And don't you get weary in well-doing, because you'll reap a harvest if you faint not. Okay? For me, and it's just been in my spirit, because I am a Christian. He was holy, but he was lowly. Got it? To our Board of Education, I'm so proud of us being in the norming stage of our growth. And I can't wait until we get into the performing area. And that's the goal, is for this to become a performing Board of Education. When the superintendent process was set up, and I came into the process towards the end, and I sat here and I can see Dr. Griffin here doing her presentation, because I didn't know any of them had not opened the portal, had no historical context or anything as it related to who my colleague and this community had identified as bringing forth. And I wouldn't let them say anything to me. And one of my colleagues said, yeah, she came. I don't know, I think we got a little trouble. She didn't have one piece of paper And I'm telling you, I had my mindset, I was thinking about this one, and then she came. And then one of my colleagues said, oh yeah, she bad. She bad. And I sat back and I watched. And I thank God in this season. I thank God for what he's doing for Benton Harbor area schools. I've had an opportunity to go to some of the most amazing class reunions, and people think I'm in those class reunions dancing. I'm gonna tell y'all this: I go in, I holler for about 7 to 8 minutes. It looked like I'm gonna go, and about 25 minutes later, I'm out the door at home, sleep, watching them post. But I had an opportunity to go to some reunions where I felt that tiger that I know, that I love. And so, to our parents, to our students, to our community, to our staff, this is a season of quality and not quantity. This is a season of quality and restoration. So we have to love. Sure, we want to get out, we want to recruit, we want people to come, we want our students to come. But what we have to do is we have to love the ones that we have. We have to make sure that they have everything that they need and more, and that they understand that it is an honor to be a tiger, because tigers are predators. We are never the prey. Many are called, but few are chosen. Thank you so very much, Madam President, and to my colleague, Dr. Griffin. I pray for you more than you will know. But I want it to be understood as I close out. For me, I'm a member of this Board of Education. I'm going to do my due diligence, and yeah, I'll leave it at that. So y'all have a great rest of the evening.
Thank you, Secretary Triplett. Vice President Bowens.
Before I start, a few weeks ago, we lost Miss Lois Marie Lungsley.
Mhm.
She worked in our high school cafeteria. She was a staff member and a beloved community member. My thoughts and prayers go out to her family and her loss, with the loss of her. Back in 2008, it was my first time voting for the presidential race, and I had a level of excitement. And I believed at that time, we're gonna be okay. It was Barack Obama was running. At this time, in our direction and the confidence that I have with our current superintendent, I believe that we're gonna be okay. Transition always has its pain parts. When it follows through, it's something beautiful. I am optimistic on where we're headed as a district, where we're going at recruiting, and the expectations. Higher standard equals higher results. And I am excited about the level, and that, we can believe again. I also am in my seat now at the airport. And I hear Trustee Bradley say that 50,000 feet view. So we have begun to take off and getting ready to go to that 50,000 feet view. So I'm excited and I look forward to working with you, Dr. Griffin.
And now you.
Don't tell Bradley I said that. No.
I'm sure he's listening. So I will be as brief as possible. I would like to, of course, say congratulations to Dr. Griffin for her first successful meeting with Benton Harbor area schools. I would also like to point out that you look extremely beautiful in your red and pearls today.
I do. Thank you,
That's a
Madam.
very nice touch. I'm so very proud to have you a part of our team. The table feels good. I'm proud to be your president, and have you join our great team of 8. I have been intentional in allowing her to work through her 90 days, making introductions to our municipalities and various stakeholders or organizations that support us, but also allowing the Board of Education to have their time, to have one-on-ones, to hear her thoughts and allow her to hear theirs. However, I've been accessible as needed, but have not quite gotten my one-on-one yet. So we will follow up on making sure that we can touch base because you have had yet to hear my concerns and my visions and my dreams. So I'm grateful for the conversations that we have had. I'm grateful for the work. I'm grateful to be getting out of the meeting before 8 p.m. today as planned. And I'm really excited for continued growth and continued work. I will make sure that the board is also aware that a little birdie told me that people within the district have a different pep in their step. Not only with excitement, but a feeling of accountability, and it feels good. And so I just want to say welcome. I'm excited to see what your leadership brings, and I'm excited to see what the leadership of the Board of Education does for the school district. So I am going to close with that and ask, is there a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Is there a second or support?
Support.
The motion was made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Rocket Martin. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, Secretary Triplett.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Gavin.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
All
Madam
right,
President.
meeting adjourned as of 7:37 p.m. Have a great evening. Happy birthday, Vice President Bowens.